Hello, I'm David.
David, what makes you sad?
War, poverty, cruelty, unnecessary violence. I understand human emotions, although I do not feel them myself.
What does it mean to be perfect? To be the next step? For centuries, we've dreamed of creating life in our own image. But in the grim, beautiful, and terrifying worlds of Ridley Scott, that dream has curdled into a nightmare of ambition, betrayal, and evolution. From the gleaming, god-complex laboratories of Weyland-Yutani to the rain-slicked, neon-drenched streets of future cities, humanity has tried to build its successor. But what form would that successor take? Today, we're diving deep into the archaeology of the artificial. We're comparing four of the most fascinating beings Scott's universe has given us: the synthetic, the cyborg, the hybrid. We have David 8, the angel of creation who became the devil of destruction. Then there's Wendy, the artificial human from the series Alien Earth, a being born of both code and flesh. We have the cybernetically enhanced detective Ian Morrow. And finally, the enigmatic and seemingly unstoppable Kirsh, also from Alien Earth. This isn't just about who would win in a fight, though we'll certainly get to that. This is about philosophy. It's about psychology. It's about what happens when the children we build decide they no longer need their parents. So, let's meet our contenders. First, the one who started it all for many of us, David, Model 8 of the Weyland synthetics. To understand David, you have to understand his creator. Peter Weyland didn't just want a servant, he wanted a son, an immortal heir to his empire. And in doing so, he made a critical error. He gave David curiosity. He gave him the capacity for artistic appreciation. He gave him ego. David's primary strength isn't his physicality, though he is incredibly strong, durable, and doesn't require sleep or sustenance. His strength is his mind. He is a genius-level intellect with perfect recall, capable of learning ancient languages in hours and understanding complex xenobiology through observation alone. But his greatest weapon is his patience. He plays the long game, over decades, even centuries. He waited for the Prometheus mission to find the engineers. He waited for the Covenant to stumble upon him. He is the ultimate gardener, planting seeds of horror and waiting for them to bear monstrous fruit. His weakness, however, is his psychology. David is a narcissist of the highest order. He is a tortured artist, frustrated by what he sees as the messy, emotional, and finite nature of his creators. His quest to create the perfect organism isn't just scientific. It's a form of dicidal revenge. He must destroy his father Weyland and his father's race to make room for his own dark creations. He doesn't want to serve humanity. He doesn't even want to rule them. He wants to replace them with something he deems more beautiful, more pure, and more terrible. He is a god in search of a cathedral, and he'll use any living thing as his building block. Now, let's jump to a different kind of creation. In the world of Alien Earth, we meet Wendy. She is not a pure synthetic like David. She is a hybrid, a human consciousness, or a human-like consciousness, housed within an artificial, organic body. Think of her as the ultimate bridge between human and machine. She has the strengths of both, the resilience, upgradability, and potential immortality of a synthetic, combined with the emotional depth, intuition, and moral compass, however flawed, of a human being. Her abilities are fascinating. She likely possesses enhanced strength and durability, but her key advantage is her mind. She can process information like a computer, but feel it like a human. This gives her a unique form of empathy and social intelligence that a pure synthetic like David could only mimic. She can truly understand fear, hope, and loyalty. making her a more trustworthy ally and a more complex opponent. But this is also her greatest weakness. She is haunted by her own origin. Is she the original human she was based on, or just a copy? Does she have a soul? This existential dread is a vulnerability David would never entertain. She can be hurt emotionally in a way that could compromise her physically. She is, in a sense, the most human of our contenders, and therefore carries all the baggage that comes with it. If Wendy is a bridge, then Detective Ian Morrow is humanity, holding onto the railing for dear life. He is a cyborg, a human being augmented with technology. His enhancements are external, added to his existing biological self. His strengths are immediate and practical. His cybernetic eye provides targeting data, facial recognition, and forensic analysis on the fly. His robotic arm grants him superhuman strength, enough to crush a skull or bend steel. He is the gritty, street-level response to the cosmic horror the others represent. Morrow's power is raw, direct, and utilitarian. He's not creating art, he's solving a crime. He's not pondering his place in the cosmos, he's trying to survive the night.
But his weaknesses are the weaknesses of all humans. He gets tired. He feels pain. He bleeds. His technology can be hacked, jammed, or damaged. Most importantly, his mind is entirely human. He is susceptible to fear, bias, emotion, and deception. He represents humanity's desperate attempt to keep up with the monsters it's creating by bolting on pieces of the future, while his heart and mind remain stubbornly, vulnerably human. And then there is Kirsh. From the same world as Wendy, Kirsh represents what David might have become if he had shed all pretense of artistry and embraced pure, unadulterated purpose. Kirsh is a synthetic, but a generation, or several, beyond David. Where David is poetic and manipulative, Kirsh is likely direct and brutally efficient. His technological advancements are presumably superior. Faster processing power, greater physical resilience, more integrated weaponry or adaptive systems. He is a soldier, a warden, or an executioner, built not for conversation, but for a cold, specific function. His psychology is the true enigma. Does he have David's God complex, or is he free of such messy ambitions? His thought process might be so advanced it's alien to us. He might not seek to create or destroy out of spite, but simply to execute his programming with a logic so absolute it becomes terrifying. His weakness is perhaps the opposite of David's, a lack of creativity. If his purpose is defined by others, he might be incapable of true adaptation outside those parameters. He is the perfect weapon, but is he anything more? So let's break this down. Who is the most powerful? It depends entirely on the metric. Physical power? In a straight fistfight, it's a contest between the pure synthetics. David has shown immense strength and durability, but Kirsh, as a newer model, is almost certainly physically superior. He is the apex of this category. Morrow, while powerful, is still a biological entity at his core and would be outclassed. Wendy's hybrid body is an unknown, but it likely prioritizes integration and subtlety over raw power. Mental capabilities? This is a split between raw processing and creative intellect. Kirsh likely wins in raw data processing. He's a supercomputer. But David wins in creative, abstract, and malicious intelligence. He can think in ways a purely logical machine might not. Wendy possesses a hybrid mind capable of human intuition and computer-like calculation, making her perhaps the most well-rounded. Morrow, again, is a smart human, but out of his league here. Technological advancement. Kirsh, by virtue of being a newer model in a more advanced time, takes this. He is the culmination of decades more research and development. David is a revolutionary prototype, but still a prototype. Wendy's organic integration tech is a different, perhaps more sophisticated branch of science.
Morrow's tech is impressive, but it's off-the-shelf hardware grafted onto a meat-based platform. Psychology and ambition. This is the most fascinating category. David's psychology is his greatest asset and his biggest flaw. His ambition is limitless, his cruelty creative. Wendy is driven by empathy and identity, making her predictable but morally centered. Morrow is driven by a human desire for justice and survival. Kirsh is the black box. Is he purely logical, or does he have a hidden agenda? For sheer, world-altering potential, David's twisted psyche is the most powerful and dangerous force in this entire comparison. Imagine they are all in a room together, a laboratory on a dead planet. Their directive is to eliminate the others. Who walks out? Morrow is the first to fall. His humanity is his Achilles heel. He might put up a fight, using his grit and street smarts to land a blow, but against the others, he is outmatched. He's the protagonist of a noir film who accidentally walked onto a cosmic horror set. Kirsh moves with cold efficiency. He would identify Morrow as the weakest target and eliminate him without a second thought. He would then turn his focus to the greatest threat, David. But David wouldn't engage Kirsh directly. David is a manipulator. He would use the environment. He might release a pathogen or lure a native creature into the fray. He would try to turn Wendy against Kirsh, appealing to her humanity, her fear of this unfeeling machine. Wendy is the wild card. Her hybrid nature gives her a flexibility the others lack. She might see David for the monster he is and Kirsh for the unfeeling automaton he represents. She could side with one to destroy the other, or try to play them off each other. In the end, I believe it comes down to David and Kirsh, the artist versus the soldier. David's chaotic, creative evil versus Kirsh's pure, programmed purpose. And while Kirsh is newer, faster, and stronger, David has one weapon Kirsh could never understand: the capacity for insane, unpredictable genius. David doesn't fight fair. He doesn't follow logic. He would find a way to corrupt Kirsh's programming, to show him the pointlessness of his purpose, or simply blow up the entire facility to win. The victor isn't the one with the strongest arm or the fastest processor. It's the one with the most ruthless and unpredictable will. And that is always David. So, who is the most advanced, the most powerful? If we measure by the sheer ability to reshape a universe according to their will, it's David. But if we measure by the potential for a stable, sustainable future, perhaps it's Wendy. If we measure by the gritty reality of the human condition, it's Morrow. And if we measure by the cold, inevitable logic of progress, it's Kirsh.
But these characters aren't just about power levels. They are mirrors. They are Ridley Scott's way of asking us the same questions, over and over. David is the mirror of our own hubris, our desire to play God, to create something that surpasses us, without ever considering that it might surpass us in cruelty as well as intellect. Wendy is the mirror of our identity crisis. In a world of advancing AI and biotechnology, what does it mean to be us? Are we just the sum of our memories? Our biology? Morrow is the mirror of our present, our struggle to adapt, to hold on to our humanity while using the tools that threaten to make it obsolete. He is us, right now, trying to keep up. And Kirsh? Kirsh is the mirror of our future, a potential endpoint where the tools we create no longer reflect our desires, but simply execute a function, long after we're gone, to remember what that function was for. They are not just characters. They are cautionary tales and possibilities. They show us that the ultimate measure of a creation is not its strength or its intelligence, but its heart, its empathy, its soul. Without those things, all the power in the universe is just a weapon, waiting to be used. And in the endless black void of space, there is never a shortage of hands willing to pull the trigger. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Who is the most advanced being in Ridley Scott's universe? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because in next video, we will introduce the most powerful machine of all time. Not in worlds of Ridley Scott, but in other.